seeing you, man. And even more important, it's great seeing you in warmer weather. Last time I saw you, of course, was in Edmonton for the Juno Awards, which, of course, once again, you were victorious. Congratulations on winning there. But I will
Thank you.
say it now February, I should say March, Edmonton, it's damn cold there, man.
Yeah, extremely,
How did you
extremely.
handle that?
Um, it was colder before I won. Tell you that.
Because I still remember, it's so funny because I remember getting off at the airport and I was outside waiting for my cab as I was going to my hotel. And I thought to myself, oh, this isn't too bad. I guess maybe there were a lot of buildings keeping the wind from blowing. But the second I got out of that cab, man, at my hotel in Edmonton, downtown Edmonton, I was like, oh no, man, this is a whole new sight. But
Oh, we were doing some tourist activities there because we got an Airbnb, and it was me and Finn, and Finn decided that he wanted to have a barbecue.
excuse me?
Yeah, on the Sunday morning, I think. The Sunday morning, because there was a grill there, and we're like, wow, this Airbnb is equipped with everything. So we're like, you know what? First time coming to Edmonton, let's do some tourist stuff. So he decided that he wanted to have a barbecue. He didn't stay out there very long, but
That'll teach him. But you know what? I say great. Why not? Why not do
yeah.
it, man?
But you can see that people are passing, looking at the balcony, like, yo, these are crazy.
They can't be from Edmonton if they're doing that,
No,
man.
they're not.
It sounded like you had a great experience, but congratulations again on another Juno win. How did that feel, man?
It felt great. It felt really great. I mean, 3 times being nominated in a row, I had to. I think the odds were in my favor to finally get one out of the three. But just what the song meant, and for not just me, but for the culture, I think it was deserving of it. And to not only be for myself, like Cairo was a part of it, Finn's a part of it, and my band was a part of it. It's more than just being for me, the entire culture won that night.
And of course, what was the song called and what was it about?
It was called Reggae Party, and
Mhm.
it was about everything that's going on the news and stuff like that. It's very negative, you know, and it's about, like, especially when I do shows, what I realize is that the audience is from all different races, all different backgrounds, all different experiences, but they're there in the name of music. And because I do reggae, specifically reggae music, so it was about just uniting everybody through reggae music. Like, let's have a reggae party where we're not worried about world politics and
Mm.
religion and all that stuff. It's like, let's just be here together and enjoy this moment together with reggae music, you know?
Isn't that what music is supposed to be about?
I think so. I think so. And like I said, I think it's the only thing that unites everybody without any division at all. You know, I mean, sports, there's always two people going against each other, right? Or teams going against each other. Sometimes it's always something against something. Whether if it's one person, that one person is trying to beat a time, trying to beat a record, you know what I mean? And teams, like I said, it's always like competition. But with music, everybody is there in the name of music. It is what it is, So I think that's what it's supposed to be about. And I think if people put more investment, especially like governments or stuff like that, Canada does a good job, I guess. But if they invested more time in uniting the people through music, I think that the world would be a better place.
How does it feel you now becoming really it's not even so much as a spokesperson for reggae music here in Canada. You've become more like a role model, a statesman. You're slowly becoming the person now that the younger generation looks to and says, he's the guy I want to be. And your messages and your accomplishments all lead down that road. How does it feel being that type of a role model? Did you ever think that you would be placed into that situation, and how does it feel being in that situation?
Um, I mean, it puts a pressure to having to wanting to deliver for
Mm-hmm.
not just you, but for an entire culture, and not just an entire culture that is Canadian, but a global culture in Canada,
Yeah.
right? Um, and I always found it weird that like when promoters would book reggae artists from whether it's Jamaica or somewhere else in the world, it's rare that a Canadian reggae artist is on the bill, which I find it's always like the weirdest thing to me. So for me to be in that position, like you said, I'm grateful for it, but it comes with a lot of, like I said, responsibility. And I think it was more for me. I think I kind of just took the role because it was necessary. It was really necessary. Like I could have been, you know what, let it all be about me. But then I'll be a hypocrite in my opinion because I remember not being able to get booked on shows. I remember DMing promoters or emailing and being rejected. Sometimes they would read the message and not even reply, right? And now with Canada, I'm earning that respect, but then it's now becoming I'm representing Canada now on an international market. So now that struggle that I faced earlier with Canada, now I'm facing that everywhere else, but Canada has my back. So it's a long fighting process, but we're going through it. And I guess my goal is I don't want to be the only person that is there on the front line. So that's why you will always see me with another artist or another few artists and musicians and just trying to let the world know that in Canada, it is an actual community of us, not just one or two or whoever is nominated for the Juno that year. That those five people, that's all that we have. It's more than that. So yeah, I hope that answered the question.
It does answer that, but because of the position you're in, are you afraid of making mistakes?
um, I won't make old mistakes. I'll tell you that. If I make mistakes, I don't know if I would consider it mistakes or lessons. Because if I make a mistake, that means I've never done it before. So now I'm just learning at this stage of what to do or what not to do. Hopefully, it's not a detrimental mistake that I can't recover from. But I'm actually, I don't shy away from making mistakes, right? Because I will own the fact that I did not know I was what I was doing in that moment of making the mistake.
I'm
So.
curious. I want to jump in because and this now goes towards more of the music side because we're going to get into the new single that you have.
Mm-hmm,
Um, you've always had a sound that you always work towards something different and something futuristic, if I can use those
mm-hmm,
terms.
right.
But I've found lately that I don't know, can I say, are you rediscovering the past when it comes to music and beats and sounds?
I think that has a lot to do with the production, right? Being, like I said, being based in Canada, first of all, the respect that we get from the so-called veterans that
Mm.
did it before is not really there. Like it's hard to work with people, especially if you're from a country that isn't really known globally for reggae music.
Even
Right.
though we have a rich reggae
Right.
history here.
Right. But then you have to understand that that rich reggae history end up moving back to Jamaica, right? All of the key players, the Leroy Sibbles and all these people, they moved back. King Jammy's moved back. So it's like when they left, I don't think they helped to develop a Canadian culture. It was they developed themselves and they developed themselves as Jamaican musicians, not as Canadian Jamaican musicians or Canadian pioneers for reggae music. So it made the job for Esco harder, for me harder, for Amoy harder. Now it's like literally we are back at ground zero trying to start this building, you know. So to answer your question, all of the producers that I've been working with before Finn, has always been people that they love the culture, but they don't really understand the culture, right? So their interpretation of what reggae is to them will sound different, right? Now with Finn and I have what do you say now? Like we enjoy the old school reggae, right? So this project that like from Too Rough to Reggae Party and now the song with Tiffanie, it's a love project. It's not necessarily something that we were doing based on okay, we can, you know, sell and stream and stuff like that. We just wanted to enjoy the reason why we love reggae music. So we were literally recreating. I would call it a timepiece. So on the upcoming album, you'll have pieces from the 70s, from the 80s, and the one with Tiffany's from the 90s, right? And this is the most fun I've ever had in music. The
I'm
most
gonna
fun that there's. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stop you there. I'm gonna stop you there. The reason why I'm gonna stop you there is because I want to get right into it. Even though you've mentioned the name of the song, I want to always make this part official. What's the name of the new single and what is it about? And go back to again on the importance of this being released in this point in your career. Because to me, when I heard it, just the first 10 seconds threw me right back into the 90s on that style of Canadian reggae music and what was being released then. It was definitely, or it is truly a throwback to that time period.
Mm-hmm. So the single is called "Bring It Good," right? And it features Tiffanie Malvo. And for anyone that doesn't know, Tiffanie Malvo's father, Anthony Malvo, is actually one of the early dancehall pioneers of reggae music in Jamaica, right? So when Finn brought the instrumental, she was the first person that came to mind. Like I need to have this collaboration with her. She's one of my closest friends, and we've been talking about doing a collaboration for years, right? And it was always when the time is right, we will know. So we never forced it. And as soon as I heard it, it was Tiffanie, I need you now. And when I called her, I'm like, hey, I'm coming to pick you up to go to the studio. Kirk, I don't feel good. I'm like, I don't care if you feel good. We are going to the studio tonight. She's like, Kirk, I really don't feel good. I'm like, anyways, I'm on my way. Pick her up, all not knowing that Tiffanie is 6 months pregnant. Right? So not caring, I don't care if you have the flu. This is the record that we are doing now. I believe in it and this is what we're doing. And as soon as she heard it and we were going through it and we're listening to it, and she was like, Kirk, I'm glad you pulled me out of the house. By the way, I'm pregnant. So and then we shot the video. She's 7 months pregnant. You would not be able to tell, right? And yeah, it was just like I said, it was refreshing to hear that because I've seen a lot of artists try to recreate the 90s dancehall song, but never this specific part of
Yeah.
the 90s, right? Like it's almost like I would call it the reggae, the reggae version of New Jack Swing, that
Yes.
specific era.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I could hear that song being played in regular clubs. And when I say
Mm-hmm.
regular clubs, I mean like, when they specifically throw like there's a bunch of reggae songs or whatever. No, I could see that a dance track happen and then that song coming right behind it or in front of it. It's
Yeah.
that to me, that big and that special. Uh like it's bang on, man. The single is definitely bang on. It's banging.
Yeah. Thank you. And like I said, like working with Finn has been the easiest time of my career doing music. it's almost as if he's in my subconscious and he just, even if I'm not thinking about it, he's bringing it out. I was like, I was thinking about it, and it's almost like the record writes itself, like it's that easy. It's like all I have to do is show up and open my mouth and then whatever comes out comes out, so I'm happy about it.
Oh, I'm thrilled with it, man. What's the album going to be sounding like, and when do we think this album might be released?
Um, the album sounds, if you're a reggae lover or been following reggae from Bob Marley down to dancehall,
Mhm.
it has all of that. So it's from late 70s
Right.
to early 90s. So you get the rubber dub era, you get the roots era, you get the dub era, um, and then a bit of dancehall. And then because Finn originally is a hip hop um, producer, there's a few fusion tracks as well, which is also early 90s. If you remember, like when Supercat was doing songs with like Biggie and Puffy. So there's like that fusion where it's reggae with a hip hop beat type of thing. So I guess that is futuristic, but still reminiscent. So yeah, but the album will be released late June, early July.
So we have it for the summer.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it? I'm just curious. Is there an artist, Canadian artist, or an artist period that you want to work with that is not in the genre that you would love to collaborate with?
I watched this documentary one time, and I saw this lady, and I was like, wow, I would really like to work with her. Her name is Buffy Saint Marie. And I think I had reached out a couple of times, but I don't know, it never got back. And I've always, every time I go to the Junos, I've always wanted to see her. I've never ever gotten the opportunity to see her. Um, yeah, but I think that would be an interesting collab to mix reggae with indigenous music. Um, I think also in 2015, if not 2015, 2018. I forgot what the band is called. Not sure if it was Alexis on Fire. No, I don't think so. But there was a band up there, and the beginning of the song had another indigenous singer, but she was doing something called, I think, throat singing or something like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that blew me away. I was like, bro, I need that. I think it would be interesting. And to be honest with you, I believe reggae music speaks to their revolution just as much as it speaks to ours.
Absolutely.
So I think uniting the sounds would be a powerful thing.
I agree with you. I agree. What about shows, tours, anything like that? Is that going to happen?
Yeah, definitely. I'm working on it now, actually. I'm flying to Netherlands next week on Thursday
Wow.
to do a music conference, and I think I'm performing. And then I come back, then I go back to the UK to do a media tour to promote the single and the album. And then when I get back, then we start doing shows around the city, and then we try to take it across country.
Did you ever think as a youngster that this would happen? I mean, we always have fantasies of being in front of that microphone and performing.
No, I did not think about it because to be honest with you, music just kind of happened. It was always there. You know what I mean? Like when I think about it, it's almost like I've been training to do music my whole life, but that wasn't my focus. I thought I was going to be in the NBA, which would have never happened. It would have never happened. Like being honest with myself, looking back, I was okay, but I was not NBA material. But in my mind, as a kid, that's where I'm going. You can't tell me nothing different. And then I realized that I just can't live without music. I can't live without doing it. And then the more I tried doing it, the more, I saw people starting to take on to the music. I just realized what I needed to do. And then it's like starting to see your purpose in life through music becomes all that you live for now. Whereas it's when I started, like if you asked me 2015 what my purpose was to do, I would have told you something stupid and you probably would never intervene me again. And then now, 8 years later, it's clear cut that, exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, so, and you've been there the whole time.
Yes, I have, and thank you for the privilege of being with you on this journey. What advice then, if we could go back in time, what advice would you give yourself when you were still thinking about wanting to be that NBA player? What advice would you have given yourself?
I don't know if I would have given myself any advice. Um, I think everything worked out the way it's supposed to. Yeah, I don't think I would have, like, if I had changed anything, I wouldn't be me now, right? And to try to skip steps would put me in a totally different position as well. So at least in my career, with every mistake and every lesson that I've learned, it has been one that has better prepared me for what I'm doing. I'm sorry for the scream. My daughter is like,
It's okay. That's what it's all about, man. That's it's take care of family. This is why I love doing honestly, this is why I love doing Zoom interviews like this because I never know what's gonna be happening. I've had it seen dogs jumping out in front of the cameras and kids come out of nowhere. So that's quite all right, man. Quite all right. Look, as we wrap this up, one other question too. Have you called the landscapers yet to make sure that your park is trimmed for the summer and it's, the flowers are all set and everything, and is it looking good for people to come and hang out?
I have not called, but shamelessly, I will say that I drove by there a couple of times last month just to make sure my name was still there. So, yeah, but it's okay. It's still there.
Honestly, man, I got to make sure this summer I got to be down there just to sit and chill, and I got to get a picture with
Yeah,
the
call
name. I
me and
got to
then
make
we
sure I
could
do it.
meet up. I only live up the street, so we
Oh,
could definitely,
perfect.
yeah.
I will let you know what I'm doing, man. In the
All right.
meantime, congratulations on this new single. Looking forward to the new album, man. Netherlands, Great Britain. By the way, when you're up there, say hello to King Charles for me and everybody else up there while you're up there.
I
And
shall.
and like I said, with everything else, man, I am so happy for you, man, and all the best in the rest of 2023. I know we're going to talk again, and most likely, I know we'll be talking again at the Junos when it's over at the East Coast. So just looking forward to everything you're doing, man.
Thank you. It's funny, the Junos brought me across the country. Like they let me see most of the country that I probably would not have seen.
I'm the same way too, man, because I've never been to the East Coast. So me personally, I'm looking forward to that next March.
It's March. Why don't they keep it in the summertime like in Toronto?
Because they like seeing us being cold. That's why I know they giggle about it too, because they get the good hotel rooms before we do. So I know what
Yeah.
they're up to. Anyways, my brother, you take care. Like I said, man,
You as
congratulations.
well. Thank you.